Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Estee McCrawly coming with another video. This time we got some more double battles on the battle spot. Still using the dual weather team that I've been using for the past few double battle videos. So we'll be doing a few more. I'll be making a new team soon. So I'll ask now if you guys got any suggestions for. I'd like to make a team centered around another Mega Evolution. So if you guys want to see a doubles team centered around a certain Mega Evolution, go ahead and let me know. And I mean, I can, well, and I'll see, because I mean, some of the Mega Evolutions do better in singles, some of them do better in doubles. But if you want to see one in a doubles format, go ahead and let me know, and I'll see what I can do. So we're gonna jump into this first battle. My opponent had a team pretty much as meta as you can get. He had Cresselia, Landorus Therian, Thundurus Incarnate, Heatran, Kangaskhan, and Aegislash. So, interestingly enough, he chose not to bring either of his Steel-type Pokemon. I guess the Charizard made him fear the Heat Wave onto the Aegislash, and also Hitmontop onto Heatran, and also Politoed, Excadrill. I had a whole bunch of stuff to deal, especially with the Heatran. So we're gonna go ahead and get this first battle started. And I mean, there are some more Pokemon in the meta, but this 6 is a pretty powerful team. It's really common in the meta. So this was not the lead I was expecting. I was expecting maybe either I was expecting like Kangaskhan definitely to lead, and I was like maybe Thundurus, maybe Heatran or Aegislash. So it's a little bit of a sticky situation here, and so we're actually going to see my Intimidate goes off before his Landorus's, so that means that I'm faster than he is, which means he's not Scarfed. It's important to note he could be Focus Sash, he could be something else. And actually here, as you can see, my Fake Out goes off before Kangaskhan. So here I say, oh, this must be a Trick Room team, especially with that Cresselia. And so, because you could, I get that I was expecting him to Fake Out my Politoed, and that's why I went for the Fake Out onto his Landorus. And I also go for the Scald here in case he wanted to switch, and that Scald's actually more powerful than Ice Beam. But you see, that does just a little over half, so I'm assuming he's Assault Vest, which is also important, or he has to be Assault Vest. There's no other way he could have lived that. So something important to note is he doesn't have Protect since he's got Assault Vest. So that's important information to note. So we're going to see the other two Pokemon he has in the back. A decent switch on his part. I mean, he wasn't in a good position. I mean, since I outsped, that Ghost Combat probably would have knocked out the Kangaskhan, and then this Scald obviously would have taken out the Landorus. I do get the burn on the Cresselia, which is really nice because it's going to get the residual damage over time. But I'm in a little bit of a sticky situation here since that is a Thundurus. And the thing, I'm expecting his Cresselia to Trick Room because my Pokemon was faster than his. I'm like, this is probably a Trick Room team. So I go for the Stone Edge here, predicting a Trick Room from the Cresselia, but it actually goes for Psychic. So since I'm at -1 special defense, even though I have the Assault Vest, it's not going to be enough to keep me alive, which was a little, well, I guess Hitmontop. Well, I mean, my base, or it's like, not base, but my HP, my special defense stats like 110, 120. So with Assault Vest, it goes up to like 170. So but I was at -1, but it's still Cresselia. So I actually pull a double switch here as well. I'm expecting a Thunderbolt or a Thunder Wave into the. Sorry, I don't do a double switch. I just switch in. I get a free switch to Roserade, and I switch in the Excadrill, expecting that Thunderbolt, and I do get it. And he Psychics into Roserade, so that's perfect for me because it was a free switch, and I also get some more burn damage off onto Cresselia. But I also wanted to switch out Politoed because I wanted to have the Rain to deal with that Landorus. So he goes for Thunderbolt into the Roserade slot, which I found interesting. I think he might have been predicting a switch there. Since I was switching out a bunch, he might have been thinking that I was going to switch back in, but I had no need to. So I just get the Energy Ball and the Rock Slide. Rock Slides, or if I went for Weather Ball instead of Energy Ball, it might have picked up the knockout onto Roserade. I just didn't want to reveal that quite yet. And he does get a Psychic off on the Roserade, which is enough to pick up the knockout. So, well, I thought I'd be able to take it out just with an Energy Ball Rock Slide, but What happens happens. If I went for the Weather Ball, I probably would have picked up the knockout on the Roserade. Or excuse me, on Dickercelia with Roserade. So now we get a nice 2v2, excuse me. But his Landorus, like I said earlier, it's a Assault Vest, so it doesn't have Protect. And this Kangaskhan does have Fake Out Pressure. So there are a little bit of mind games here with what my opponent's going to go for. Since I was expecting him to go for the Fake Out into Excadrill to try and break, or to get rid of the Air Balloon and then go for an Earthquake. But he double targets, which is perfect for me. It's a free Scald onto Landorus, and that's going to be a knockout Landorus. A huge threat out of the way. Not going to have to deal with that. Huge offensive pressure. So this time around, he is going to get the low kick off onto Excadrill. And he doesn't knock me out. He does a good chunk. I mean, one more is going to knock me out. And so this time I just get a single target Iron Head off, which doesn't do too much since I'm intimidated. But I was still surprised at how little that did. I think it's because this one has like higher HP, since it seems like it's a Trick Room variant. It's more invested into bulk. So here I was expecting him to target down the Excadrill, but he goes for Double Edge into Politoed instead. Without the Citrus, that would have knocked me out, but I'm going to be able to eat that up. And the reason I protected just because it was a safer play anyways. This is why when I did run Kangaskhan, I always ran Return, because that damage is just ridiculous. If he had Return, that still wouldn't have won him the game. But because of his position. But sometimes that, like, he took like over 50% damage from that double edge recoil, so that was just ridiculous. That's why I don't really like double edge, especially some people like to run it in double battles because they see the format's faster, but I don't know, because you can take a lot of recoil damage sometimes, like with Talonflame as well, with Brave Bird and Flare Blitz. I mean, you put yourself in the range where just about anything can knock you out, unless if it's a tank. So but still a close battle. Unfortunately, Kangaskhan doesn't, or unfortunately for Mega Kangaskhan users, he doesn't carry spread moves. So if I remember correctly, spread moves don't get the Parental Bond bonus, so there's not really much point in running it. So I felt like I still played pretty well. My lead really helped me out. Realizing that Landorus was Assault Vest also helped me out, because I knew it couldn't protect later on. So I had a few misplays, a few things I could have done better, but all in all, I played pretty well in that one, I think. So now we're going to go ahead and get on to the next battle, which was a not so meta team of Gastrodon, Luxray, Kingler, Glaceon, Dusknoir, and Charizard. So I've seen quite a bit of Gastrodon, but only in singles. He has 2 Mega Evolution possibilities in Luxray and Charizard. And then the Kingler as well, I had no idea what to expect from Kingler. Glaceon, I know, has access to Snowcloak. And Dusknoir is on my singles team, my Mega Blastoise singles team. So I'm familiar with it a little bit. Not really a doubles kind of Pokemon, because it's really low HP stat. If 2 Pokemon double target it, it pretty much goes down right away. So in this one, I realized Politoed isn't really that good. I don't want to give him Rain, since he's got Gastrodon and Kingler. So I figure I just want to get the Sun up, so that I can, I'm gonna say it's not. I just realized that my Mega Charizard Y should have Solar Beam. But I guess I don't know. I'd have to think about that instead of Ancient Power. But I do have Roselia with Energy Ball. But so I was like, I just want to get, if I can get the Sun up, his water attacks are going to do less damage. That's going to be important. So this is kind of my thoughts going into this one, why I decided to bring Charizard, even though he's got 2 water type Pokemon. So I lead with Clefairy and Charizard, and he leads with something I wasn't expecting. I was trying to get like a Heat Wave off turn 1 to deal some damage to his Pokemon, but he brought 2 water type Pokemon to start this bad boy out. So I Mega Evolve here just so I can If I ever want to switch out, I can switch back in with my Drought ability. And I go for Protect. The thing, I don't know what he wants to do here, but we see his killer goes for Crab Hammer, which goes into Gastrodon's Storm Drain, which is going to raise his special attack by 1 stage. And I say, okay, I like that. It's a good combo. So, like something like Surf would be better, so that he can deal damage and get the boost. But I get my Misty Terrain off here because I didn't know he was going to try and afflict me with some sort of status. But he didn't. It's just like a pretty offensive lead on his part. And I go for the Follow Me so I can get an attack off. And the sun's up, so I'm not going to take that much damage. And I go for Air Slash, and that did pretty close to nothing. And after this Leftovers recovery, it's going to be like a 5 or 6 hit KO. So I decided it's not really worth it. I don't want Clefairy getting dwindled down that easily. So I switch in the Roserade here, and I'm going to go for the Follow Me, so it's a nice safe switch. I don't have to worry about Roserade taking unnecessary damage. So he does go for Crab Hammer again. And the Scald. This can be a +1 Scald, so it's going to hurt quite a bit. But you see, it didn't really do that much, so I assume like this thing was defensive, and then the Storm Drain was there to help it get some offensive pressure on, where I'm sure he tried to Crab Hammer 2 or 3 times to get his special attack raised by a decent amount. But he made a good play here. He switched out the Gastrodon. I was debating on whether or not I should predict it, because I could go for, like, I was thinking maybe I could go for Energy Ball into Kingler, but Kingler protected anyway, so this is probably the best thing I could have done. That's a quad resisted Energy Ball, so I'm pretty much forced to switch out here. I go back into my Charizard because I don't know what to expect from this Charizard. I was expecting a Fire type move to go into that slot, so I'd resist. And he switches out into Dusknoir, so I see his full team. So I see he doesn't bring the Luxray, so I don't have to worry about that too much. Or I don't have to worry about that at all, better said. And we see that his Mega Evolution is actually Mega Charizard X. And it has Flamethrower. So it might be a mixed set, because he might not want to run Flare Blitz for the reason we saw last battle. So he might be like a mixed set. We'll have to see if he had like Outrage or Dragon Claw or what. But here again with Dusknoir on my singles team, Dusknoir gets access to some mean status moves. So you see he does have Dragon Claw, so he's a mixed set, and he goes for Will-O-Wisp. So luckily I avoid, and I get the Mystery Terrain back up, so I don't have to worry about status type moves. And I go for Follow Me because I want to be able to attack with Charizard and deal some damage to his Mega Charizard. So luckily I do carry Ancient Power instead of Solar Beam, and that's going to do a lot of damage, about 60%. And he goes for Dragon Claw. I was like, he's probably going to go for Dragon Ball again. So I'm going to Follow Me, and I'm just going to be immune to it. So Clefairy's going to hold on there with 29. We see this Dusknoir did some pretty decent damage with that Shadow Ball. He's going to go back into Kingler. I don't know. In my opinion, it wasn't a good idea for him to switch out his Mega Charizard X, because at that low health, it's not really going to be able to do too much to my team. And luckily, Clefairy holds on with 2 HP right there. So I go for Moonblast instead of Follow Me, since I assumed he was going to attack anyways. So here I don't make a mistake. I was predicting maybe a Protect from the Kingler, but I went for Heat Wave. I thought the sun was still up. That's one thing about the terrain. You can see it. I will say that. I wasn't really paying attention to the fact that the sun went away. If the sun was up, I would have taken out Dusknoir right there, which isn't too big of a deal. It just would have been another helping-handed attack from Charizard. So, but at this point, I want to switch out Charizard and switch it back in, so I can get the sun back up, so that water moves do less damage. So Kiss Kingler gets the double Protect. Not the end of the world. It's not my main priority right now. So I do get the Heat Wave off. I mean, at this point, it was just an easy play of Heat Wave Energy Ball, and that would have picked up the double knockout. So this is the Misty Terrain is gonna go away, but at this point we know he doesn't really have, or the Dusknoir was more of a status inflictor. So I protect you, because the thing, Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y have the same base speed, base 100. so I didn't know if his would last time I outsped him. Mine's I believe mine's timid nature, and so I didn't know if his was going to be jolly, or because he's a mixed set, so he might just be minus speed or whatever. So that's why I went for the protect, and he ends up forfeiting right there, since I had my Rose Raid out and there wasn't much he could do against it. So a pretty interesting strategy from my opponent. We didn't see too much and the funny thing with the Misty Terrain, like he went for Will-O-Wisp, but then I went for Misty Terrain and he didn't try it again. Like he knew what Misty Terrain does and stuff. So interesting strategy by my opponent. What I would do to, or what I might do to change it is switch the Kingler for some sort of special attacker and put it on Surf. But I mean, it's still a good strategy since he's got a physical water attacker and a special water attacker, so that he can cover both. He can break through physical walls and special walls. Interesting strategy, something I haven't come across yet in the Mega Charizard X, the mix set. Must not like recoil like me, so we picked up a couple of wins today. I'm enjoying this team. I don't know. It's a lot of fun more than anything. It might not be the best team in the world. It's got plenty of flaws, but it's something enjoyable, something you don't see every day. So I've been enjoying that. But like I said, we're gonna be making a new doubles team soon. I'd like to focus it around a Mega Evolution. So if you guys have any I've said this before, but if you have any suggestions for what team or any requests for what team I should make it around, go ahead and let me know. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.